By this point, we've seen how The Princess and the Frog frames what its characters want, and where those desires begin to take shape. Some of those images felt distant. Some of those spaces felt empty. But others felt different. Warmer, fuller, more complete. And maybe the question now isn't just what the dream looks like, or even where it exists, but what actually gives it weight. This is Beneath the Frame, where we take a closer look at how film creates deeper meaning. This is the third and final part of our exploration of The Princess and the Frog, where everything we've been seeing starts to take on a different meaning. Throughout the film, certain things are treated as valuable. Gold, status, power, the ability to get what you want. They're framed clearly, presented beautifully, made to feel important. But over time, that feeling starts to shift. Because the things that look valuable don't always feel that way. And the things that do feel meaningful aren't always the ones we're meant to notice first.
Thank you.
Nowhere is that tension clearer than with Facilier. His world is built on exchange, deals, control, taking something and turning it into power. We see it in the way he handles objects, in the dolls he uses to represent and manipulate people, in the way he reduces entire lives to something he can hold in his hand. Value here is something you possess, something you control, something you take. And for a while, it works. Until it doesn't. Because the more he tries to hold on to that power, the less of it actually belongs to him. And when it finally collapses, it doesn't leave anything behind. Later, we're given a very different image. Naveen, buried beneath gold, surrounded by everything he once believed mattered. Wealth, status, excess. And suddenly, it feels heavy. What once mattered now suffocates. Not something to reach for, but something to escape. And in that moment, something begins to change. Not in the world around him, but in how he sees it. We see something similar with Tiana, a moment that's easy to miss, when Mama Odie places a hand over her chest, and for just a second, there's light, not around her, but within her. And maybe that's the shift, that what matters isn't something you find out there, it's something that begins here. Up to this point, so much of what we've seen has been centered on one person, one dream, one direction. But slowly, that begins to change. Not all at once, just in small moments. A conversation that doesn't go as planned, a moment of vulnerability, someone choosing to stay. The dream doesn't disappear, but it starts to make room. And maybe that's where it begins. Because before something can become more, it has to stop belonging to just one person. That shift becomes visible in one of the simplest moments in the film. A ring. Not something rare, not something expensive. It might not even be what it first appears to be. Not a pearl, but something much simpler. Something made from what's available. A small gesture, an offering. It doesn't carry weight because of what it is, but because of what it opens up.
There it is.
Later, that ring changes. It becomes something more familiar, more traditionally valuable. But by then, something else has already changed with it. The meaning doesn't come from the object. It comes from what passes between the two of them. And by the end of the film, we begin to see what that looks like. Not in a single moment, but across many. In the way people gather, in the way they move together, in the way space is no longer centered on one person, in the way Tiana is no longer separate from what she's created, in the way Naveen is no longer chasing something, but participating in it, and in the way something that once felt like it might disrupt the space, something unpredictable, even a little dangerous, now feels like part of its rhythm. And maybe, most quietly, in the way Ray's light doesn't disappear, it becomes something else, something distant, but no longer separate, not something held, but something that continues beyond a single moment. By the end of the film, the dream hasn't disappeared. It's still there, still visible, still real, but it's changed. Not in what it is, but in what it holds. Because maybe value was never about what could be owned, or controlled, or perfectly imagined, but about what could be lived in, and about what we share. When you think about what stays with you in this film, what feels like it matters? Is it something you can point to? Or something you can only feel when it isn't just yours anymore? What do you think might be happening beneath the frame?